Alright, welcome back. So what we intend to do is to project this image to the back of the crate. Alright, so how do you do that? If you do project everything as of now, you will see that the back image will be very big. Okay, that means it's not the right way. So what we do is we add a layer. Okay, now you have to go back to your this layer. This layer is the one that you have drawn the thing. Can you see? Alright, now we keep the template because we need the back as the guideline. Alright, so what you do is this image that you just drawn, we need to make a duplicate. Alright, so what you do is you just tap and then you choose here duplicate. And the wonderful thing about Sketchbook app is you can duplicate many times. Alright, I understand the freeware version is about 99 times or 99 layers in total. Okay, so let's not get this layer affected us. So you can see that actually these two are the same now. Alright, so what you do is we want to move the duplicated image back. So this one, the one that you actually drew this first image, you have to hide it. Alright, and if you want, you can actually lock it so that you don't actually accidentally work on this layer. Alright, so what it means is, you see, if you lock it, right, it says current layer is hidden, and also you cannot do stuff here. So it's hidden and you can't do stuff anyway. Okay, so let's say we hide it, let's say we review it, and then you try to draw things, you can't do anything. See, you see your pencil line, you can't do anything, right, because you have locked it already. So let's hide this layer, let's work on this layer. So make sure you remember to tap here. Now what we do is we're going to use a transform tool to move this image back. So what you do is on the top menu, right, you can see this 4 directional arrows. So what you do is you tap on it. Okay, now remember, this is the topmost layer that you're working on. I want you to select this first one. It's called the Distort tool. When you tap on it, you will see that there are handles at the center and even at the corners, and also in the midpoint of each line. So what you do is we want to move this image to the back. Okay, so maybe you can start anywhere, right? There's no hard and fast rule where you start. So as you can see, your image kind of like gets distorted. Okay, you just try your best to make your image fit behind, alright, what you expect it to be. So it does not mean that this handle must be at this corner, alright, and that this handle must be at the center. No, it's not like that. So you have to distort your image so that it fits your original image on the front. For example, what you're looking out for is the original image touches the base here, right? So you make sure that your this projected image touches there. Now you have to do an inspection around. Okay, so there's this part here that's missing, so I need to bring it higher. Okay, there. All right, the top part, the back part is actually touching this part in the front, so now at the back it should touch also. So you do your adjustments. Okay, try not to use the center one because it really changes the image. You can play with it, but I'm not going to show you. Okay, so let me just do a quick inspection that this image is actually projected backwards. Okay, you see it's not actually done up there yet. So I'm gonna make sure it touches there. Okay, all right, don't be so particular, right? So more or less done. Okay, now if you were to unhide the bottom layer, right, you can see 2 images already. Alright, now they are of course not of the same size, they are not identical already, right, because when you project backwards it's kind of like smaller, right, and distorted a bit. Okay, so of course you inspect here, there's a little gap here, but there's no gap here, right? But for this video you can adjust it yourself. Okay, now what we do is now we show 2 images, and what we have here is actually see-through. What is see-through? You can see behind what it is also. Okay, so of course if you want, you can actually change the opacity or whatever. Here you may not want the template to show already, so what you do is you can hide it. Alright, don't delete it away. So when you hide it, you don't see the crate. Alright, so what we do is we're going to sketch lines to join to form the thickness. Alright, so you can call forth the help of your ruler. So at the top you can see the ruler here, so you can use your 2 fingers and pinch it, and I'm gonna start from here. Alright, so for your sake I'm gonna zoom in and show you. So you are working on this layer, Alright, so I think as a recommendation we always move to a new layer. Alright, so you can actually one, you can lock it. Alright, lock these two layers. Then we are working on the topmost layer to add this line. Okay, now you can draw lines either on this side of the ruler or that side. Okay, so what you do is you don't even have to be at the edge of the ruler. You just draw the line. You see, you can see there's a line drawn. Okay, obviously we want to touch the edge and the edge here. Okay, now a little bit about the Apple Pencil also. Alright, for this pencil tool, you run over a few times, it becomes darker and darker, as if you apply you're running the lines over and over again. Naturally it becomes, the tone becomes darker, right? Another way is you apply a little bit heavier pressure, it will be darker as well. Okay, now the problem with many students and myself is sometimes when you use the ruler tool or the compass, alright, the ellipse tool or whatever, the French curve tool, we forgot to turn it off. Alright, you can either tap on the cross, okay, or you just tap on the ruler tool, because sometimes, you know, it gets in the way and then you just move it away and then you want to draw here, right? Actually you're drawing on the edge of the ruler. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. So you have the first thickness here, alright, and then we need one thickness here, so you can actually continue and form the edge of the object. Remember, your gelotong is wood, is dark. Alright, so you can actually project all the way in if you want, alright, so that you can see through. Now of course the next one you can join is this, but it's already hidden by this surface here, so maybe it will reveal a bit of the edge line, which you can't really see much here because of the perspective. Alright, so actually it's over here. Okay, and then the top part, the back of it, alright, this is where the edge line, if it's a solid object, you will see the edge line here. Of course, you know, you can actually zoom in and make it darker. Alright, you can see clearer, that's what I mean. Now this part here, alright, is supposed to be of certain materials, so you can actually see where you want to add the curve in, but actually you don't really need. Alright, what you need is actually to erase the unnecessary lines of the image that you have distorted behind, so that it looks like a solid material. So what I mean by that, so let's tap it off. So to play safe again, so we add another layer, we work on the topmost layer. Alright, so in case you did something wrong, right, and then there's just too many steps, right, so you just delete away that layer, so yeah, and then you have to painstakingly go back all the way to step 1, right? So the wonderful thing about adding layers, right, is so that if you make that little serious mistake or minor mistake, you just tap and then you just drop it into the beam. Okay, and then you start from where you kind of like make the mistake. Okay, so what I mean is actually we have to erase some of the lines. So I'm going to use this tool. Let me check how big is it. Okay, it's quite small, 6.8. You can actually make it bigger if you want to erase it. Alright, so I'm just going to use this and see. Now you see, we make the same mistake. I'm erasing this, but why is it not erased? Because this back projected image is not on the layer that you wanted to so-called delete. Okay, so you have to find and go back to this layer. Alright, this layer. Now like I said, if you erase and then you make a mistake, you want to call back the original image, right? It's gone already because you have not duplicated. So what we do is we cultivate the habit, just tap on it, duplicate, alright, and then you can hide this, the original one, we will work on the new one. So in case anything wrong, right, you can actually go back to the original layer. Alright, this one you can delete. So let's see whether it works. Okay, so it does, right? So just quickly, just to show you what I mean by this. Okay, so this is the front line here, so this is the behind, so this is actually the image. Alright, you see that I cannot erase that line because it's on another layer. So very quickly, I just want to show you how to erase that layer. You have to check where that layer was drawn. Alright, so I believe it's this one. Okay, so you just erase to the line, and of course you know you have to erase all this away, all right, so that it looks like a solid object now. Okay, so the video ends here.